Last 25 years, Prabhuji is serving ISKCON in various levels, like gathering, Nagar Sankirtan, preaching, temple worship, temple management, so many things. He is doing many roles. And he kindly accepted our invitation and he came today our center to enlighten us. I would like to request this Nanda Kumar Prabhu come and deliver the class on Jagannath Leela and songs.
Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Thank you everybody for coming. I am particularly very thankful to Prabhuji and Mataji for inviting me for to speak on this occasion. So today we will be reading from this verse, Janma Karma Chame Divya. So this is 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You can either take the book or you can open on your phone. 4th chapter and 9th verse. So I'll recite and then you will read after me. Janma Karma Chame Divya. Janma Karma Chame Divya. Janma Karma Chame Divya. Janma Karma Chame Divya. Evam Yoveti Tattvata. Evam Yoveti Tattvata. Tattva Deham Punarjanma. Tattva Deham Punarjanma. Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. Janma Karma Chame Divya. Janma Karma Chame Divya. Evam Yoveti Tattvataha. Evam Yoveti Tattvataha. Tattva Deham Punarjanma. Tattva Deham Punarjanma. Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. Janma Karma Chame Divya. Janma Karma Chame Divya. Evam Yoveti Tattvataha. Evam Yoveti Tattvataha. Tattva Deham Punarjanma. Tattva Deham Punarjanma. Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. Anybody wants to say?
Janma Karma Chame Divya.
Take care of this one.
Evam Yoveti Tattvataha. Tattva Deham Punarjanma. Naiti Mameti So Arjuna.
Janma Karma Chame Divyam.
Janma Karma Chame Divyam.
Evam Yoveti Tattvataha.
Evam Yoveti Tattvataha.
Tattva Deham Punarjanma.
Tattva Deham Punarjanma.
Naiti Mameti So Arjuna.
Naiti Mameti So Arjuna.
Anybody else? Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activity does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord's descent from his transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from material bondage, and therefore he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. Such liberation of the living entity from the material bondage is not at all easy. The impersonalists and the yogis attain liberation only after so much trouble and many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve, merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord, is only partial, and therefore, there is a risk of returning to this material world. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending this body, and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. In the Brahma Samhita 5.33, it is stated that the Lord has many forms and incarnation. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction, although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers, as stated in the Vedas, Purusha Bodhani Upanishad. Eko Devo Nitya Leela Vakto Bhakta Vyapi Bhakta Hridi Antaratma. The one Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many transcendental forms in relationship with His unalloyed devotees. This Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of Gita personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculations, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberation. The Vedic version Tat Tvamasi is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme and who says unto the Lord, "You are the same Supreme Brahman, the Personality of Godhead," is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. In other words, such a faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection, and this is confirmed by the following Vedic assertion. Tat tvam uttapati mrityumeti na anya pantha vidyate yanaya. One can attain the perfect state of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is no other way to achieve this perfection. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3.8. That there is no alternative means that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is surely in a mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not attain salvation simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of honey, or by interpreting Bhagavad Gita according to mundane scholarship. Such empiric philosophers may assume very important roles in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Such puffed up mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. Now we will recite one letter. Everybody recite with me. Om Ajnana Timrandasya
Jnananjana Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagratam Saganarunakam Tam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Padinasayam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Radham Saganalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwamanusute Devi Namami Haripriye Vanshakalpalabhesya Krupa Sindhubhyo Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
everybody. So thank you for coming for the Sunday feast today. First of all, I want to congratulate each one of you for this new temple, and particularly for the efforts of Gopikanta Prabhu and Kalandi Mataji. So can we all chant Hari Bol for 3 times?
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
I know you work as a family, you're all together. This is my first time coming here. I'm so happy to see the progress. Like in such a short time, such a nice center, such a beautiful piece of property, a nice neighborhood. And this can grow so much in the future. So actually this is very encouraging. It's really nice that you have the center. It's just more and more people come, this will grow, definitely, because you have all the ingredients for growth. So this is very nice. So today, since yesterday was the Jagannath Rath Yatra in New York City, that Rath Yatra actually was very dear to Srila Prabhupada. See, we coming from the Indian background, or the Sanatan background, we have some understanding of Rath Yatra. Like when we grew up, we saw Rath Yatra on TV, newspaper. Once in a year you get on the newspaper, you see picture, and Rath Yatra happened, right? But no clear idea of why they are doing it. It's a nice festival, colorful festival. But what is going on? We don't know. But Srila Prabhupada gave us such a deep understanding that actually now it has become part of our life. So our journey with Rath Yatra is with Srila Prabhupada. That's how it started. And Srila Prabhupada started this Rath Yatra in America in 1967, that time. But out of many Rath Yatras he did, the most or the biggest and the most he was very satisfied was the New York Rath Yatra, because it's happening in the most important city in the world. Still is the most important city in the world, in one of the most important streets of that city, and then it's happening in summer for the last almost 50 years. And Prabhupada attended that Rath Yatra in 76. He was extremely happy. And somehow, I've attended many Rath Yatras, but that particular Rath Yatra, everybody comes. It's almost like your yearly Tirtha. If you miss it, you feel like you missed something really important. Just like in Puri, Rath Yatra is there. There are many Rath Yatras in India, which is good. Jagannath wants to go everywhere. But Puri is the route. Similarly, in America, this New York Rath Yatra is the route. Everybody comes there, and Prabhupada really liked it. So, we will cover a little bit about Lord Jagannath, but before we go there, I just want to speak from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Janma Karma Chame Devya. This is a very simple verse. If someone understands this, there's nothing else to be known. Krishna says in 7th chapter, 2nd verse, he says, Arjuna, listen carefully what I'm telling you. Once you understand, there's nothing else to be understood. 7th chapter, 2nd verse, you can go and check. 7.2. Krishna says, listen carefully what I am saying. If you listen, nothing else needs to be covered. Okay? So here in 4th chapter, Krishna is giving this verse, Janma Karma Cha Me Deya. He is speaking himself. Okay? In first tense, like first person. Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tatvata. Once a person understands in Tattva, not theoretical knowledge, not that I heard the story, not that it is Hindu mythology, not that none of it. In Tattva, in truth, if a person understands, Tyaktva Deham, Deha's body, Tyaktva means the Guru. Punarjanma Naiti, Punarjanma doesn't happen. Mameti comes to me, O Arjuna. So in some ways it is said that this verse is the summary of entire Bhagavad Gita. This one verse is the summary of everything. There's another 4 verses, 10.8, 9, 10, 11, where Krishna is speaking the summary of Bhagavad Gita in 4 verses. But that is also very similar to this. But if you have to pick one verse, this is the verse. Krishna is saying, if you understand my Janma and Karma, at the end of your life, you will not come back and you go back to me. So the question is, why do I need it? I'm okay. Very good. Nice weather outside. America is a nice country. You're fortunate we are here. Good job, good house, everything is good. Why do I need it? Sab chalta hai actually. Right? So the time, just like the tide that goes up and goes down, time does not remain the same. It will change. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in 13th chapter, I think, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshana. Okay, he gives the list of all the items which is considered knowledge. Okay, among those things he says, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, birth, death, old age and disease. Dukkha Dosha, Dukkha is misery, Dosha is fault. Anu Darshana, repeated seeing. This is the nature of the world, and now it may be okay, but time will come when things will not be okay. If everything goes smooth, old age will still come. Once old age will come, then different parts of the body start behaving differently, and it's not as nice as it is now. Correct? And the nature of the world is every living entity has to go old. Not only human beings, animals also have to go through the same difficulty. So we may feel that I'm okay right now, but I may not be okay forever. It's a common sense, everybody invests some money in their retirement plan. Only a foolish person will not do it. But you don't need the money now. Why are you putting for future? Because we know it's coming. We know old age will come, we will not be able to work. At that time we will still need the money. Common sense. So we put it aside. Everybody does it, correct? So why do we keep it? Because we know it's coming. Right? Similarly, we know the miseries of the world will, if they are not there today, they will come tomorrow, guaranteed. They will come. So Krishna is saying that if you want to get out of the situation, if you just understand my Janma and Karma, how Krishna is born and what he did. If you just understand that, two things. How Krishna was born and what he did. Correct? If you go to Bhagavatam, the sages, how many people have read first canto of Bhagavatam? Okay, nice. I think you should read it. Bhagavad Gita ke baad, after Bhagavad Gita, first canto of Bhagavatam gives you so much information, so much, not just information, life lesson really. That's what it is. So there the sages are asking the questions to Sutta Goswami, who is the leader of all the sages. They are asking him questions about how to handle this Kali Yuga. Because they started a big yajna and somehow yajna failed. The symptom of the failure of the yajna is more smoke and less fire. If you have yajna like that, that means something didn't go well. Okay, so they did the yajna in the beginning of Kali Yuga and they were all black. Some fire was coming, but more smoke is coming, right? So they were confused, okay, this is not working. So they asked Sutta Goswami many questions, 6 questions actually. One of the questions they asked is, why did Devaki Putra come? Why did Krishna appear in the womb of Devaki? What is the connection of a failed yajna with Devaki's sons appearing? What is the connection? If yajna failed, you are asking what is the right thing to do. One of the questions they ask, why did Krishna appear in the womb of Devaki? What is the connection? There are so many people appearing and disappearing. Why he asked Krishna only? Right? And then he asked, what are the activities of different incarnations? Correct? These are the 2 questions he asked. That's exactly what is being mentioned here, Janma and Karma. So the sages, whatever they ask that question, it is exactly in line with what is being spoken in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna himself. If you understand these 2 activities, Janma and Karma, then you do not have to worry. Prabhupada is talking about many things in this verse, many things. But one thing he is talking about is dry understanding. Dry understanding means people who understand Bhagavad Gita, who understand Krishna, but they have some weird ideas. For example, Krishna was not a person. It's a figure which has been put for people to understand Bhagavad Gita. No, he's a person. He says, Janma karma cha me divya. It's mine. So if a person is saying Janma and karma mine, that means him. It's simple, very simple. Why you have to put anything on top of it, right? That's why Prabhupada translated this Bhagavad Gita as it is. There were 300 versions of Bhagavad Gita before this was written. So in the introduction, Prabhupada says, what's the need? Why do I have to write one more? There are 300. But he says in almost all of them, people are giving their own ideas. Some places they say Krishna, in Mahatma Gandhi also. Krishna is I think the Prabhupada says some places, that his understanding is also like that there was no such person as Krishna. It is a figure which has been used. You know how you make up some stories to get the idea across? That's how a lot of philosophers see Bhagavad Gita. That they think Krishna is a figure, we use him to put ideas around it so that people can become more religious and more moral. It's a way of teaching people morality. But Krishna is not a person, it's just a figure which is used. Okay? Here he's saying these people will be licking Krishna just like a bottle of honey you lick from outside. Honey is there, you're licking also, but taste will never come. Right? You keep licking, honey will be there only, your tongue will also be there, but there will be no taste. Right? So these philosophers, they keep reading Bhagavad Gita again and again. Not only they are reading, they are teaching others also. But they themselves cannot taste, तो दूसरा क्या सीखेगा? What will other person hear? If you are in a ditch, how can you save someone else? If your hands are tied, how can you save someone who is drowning? First you save yourself. If you have no taste, how can you help anybody else? Right? So Prabhupada is saying that there are many ways to understand Krishna, but if a person understands Krishna in truth, then once they leave their body, they do not have to come back. And one important point Prabhupada makes in the end. See, one beauty about Prabhupada's purport is that no matter which one you read, where you read, you will get a complete message. Just like basically, there are some meals which you eat just one meal, it's a complete meal. Milk is also considered a complete meal. If you don't eat anything, if you just drink milk, it supplies you energy, it supplies you fat, everything supplies, right? So Prabhupada is saying here that this can be understood completely in Tattva only by the mercy of a pure devotee. If a pure devotee or someone who is very close to Krishna, if that person is kind to you, then you will understand. So it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire that this movement of Hare Krishna should be spread all over the world. Right? There was this saying, right? What is it? Prithvi te ache jata nagar adigram sarvatra prachar hoibe morana. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. That on this Prithvi, whatever nagar and gram are there, whatever the nagar is the city and gram is the village, whatever is there, sarvatra prachar hoibe morana. In all these places my name will be chanted. So this was the desire, and Prabhupada, we know that he came at the age of 70 to America to fulfill that desire. It was actually a very difficult attempt, but somehow Prabhupada did it and he was successful. So now Krishna consciousness has come all over the world to help people understand Krishna as it is. And Rath Yatra is part of it. It's not something like, some people think Rath Yatra is like a primitive festival. Some people think it's a traditional festival. Some people think it's an Odia festival. Many people think many things, but actually there's a deep, deep understanding of what Rath Yatra is. The highest spiritual feeling of the Lord Himself, or Krishna Himself, is manifested through Rath Yatra. Krishna has different modes, different pastimes, different activities at different ages. But the mood and the intensity of His love that manifested at the time of Rath Yatra is higher than anywhere else. Because that's when he's thinking about the Brajavasis, about Vrindavan devotees in separation. So I'll briefly describe a little bit about how this Rath Yatra happened and few other things. I believe last Sunday also the Rath Yatra was discussed, correct? So I'll touch upon some of the things in addition to what was already discussed, so we have a complete understanding of Rath Yatra. Okay, everybody's following so far? Yes? Okay. So, you see, when we sleep in the night, almost always you will see, when we are sleeping, about to sleep, the thing which is most dear to our heart, it will run in our head. Is that correct? Whatever is dear to heart, whether it's from 20 years ago or from yesterday, the thing which we are really thinking about is something close to our heart, it comes to our head. Because no distractions are there, nothing is there. If it's a normal day, you will go back and think about something happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, good or bad, whatever. But it's really affected us in a good way or a bad way, we think about it. Right? Is that true? Happens to everybody? It's normal. Krishna also had the same thing. Krishna had the same thing. When Krishna was living in Dwaraka, during the day he would go to Sudharma assembly hall to deal with the business. You know, he is the assistant. He was the assistant of the king Ugrasena, but in all practical means he was the real king because his brain was working everywhere. Right? So he's the king. So he goes every day to Sudharma assembly, and then in the night he comes. Then he's nicely served by the queens, then he's playing with his kids in different palaces, he's doing different activities. And it's amazing thing how Krishna could split himself into 16,108 forms, be in different palaces, be with different sets of families, like different queens and different children. And then when Narada Muni went to all these palaces, he saw Krishna's doing this here, this here, this here, different things at the same time. He was amazed. And next day when Krishna comes, 16,000 Krishnas merge into one. They all getting in the chariot from the home. But when they reach the hall, it's one. And nobody knows how that happened. When he leaves the house, he's leaving every house. But when he's reaching the hall, there's only one hall. And nobody understood when this happened, where did he march? But he was able to do it, right? So Narad Muni was very amazed to see this. So when he would come in the night and when he would sleep, then in his subconscious mind, see Krishna is fully conscious of everything, but still he plays the part of like his love for his devotees. So when he's sleeping in the night, he is in his sleep, he is calling out the names of all his childhood friends and the gopis where he spent his 10, 15 years in Vrindavan. It's a very short time. He stayed on this planet for 125 years. Only 15, 16 was spent in Vrindavan. After that Akrura came, he took him away to be killed by Kamsa. Because Kamsa sent all these demons, one by one they died. Think about it. Kamsa has not seen Krishna, but he knows he's there. And he's sending them one by one. And everybody is getting killed, but he still hasn't seen him. But he knows something is there, which is just too powerful. I cannot handle it. Because the best of my demons I send, they go, they die, I get them loose. So he was breathing, thinking everything about Krishna all day and night. So miserable that when he opened the pot to eat food, he was scared he's missing it. He was scared of everything. He thought everywhere is Krishna. He was so Krishna conscious that Narad Muni at one point says that the way Kamsa is Krishna conscious, even devotees are not. But that's not our goal. Our Goswami says that it should be favorable. But Narad Muni does say that the way he was thinking of Krishna is so intense because he's so scared. He can come from anywhere. So Kamsa is in that situation, right? So Krishna killed all these demons and finally Krishna was taken to Mathura. And then from Mathura he never came back. He said, I'll come back, but he never came back, right? So then from there he went to Dwarka, the whole pastime is there, why he went to Dwarka. But he's always thinking about his Brajavasis. So the queens are saying, we are serving him day and night. We are doing the best we can do. They are serving him like his maid servants. Right? These are queens. They have a whole army of servants, but they say no, we will serve him because we want him to be happy. Personally serve him. It's one thing you can employ someone else, but it's another thing you serve someone personally. They would make the best possible effort, every queen, to make Krishna happy. Every possible way. And yet when he's sleeping in the night, he's calling for gopis of Vrindavan. So they are disappointed. What is it? Whatever happened there is so dear to him that after all our love, he is still feeling attraction there. So that was not a sore point exactly, but they were really inquisitive. What exactly happened in Vrindavan that he's like that? So now, the only person who can tell this is Mother Rohini. Right? Because Vasudeva has got two wives, Rohini and Devaki. You know this, right? Okay, Devaki was imprisoned by Kamsa along with Vasudeva, but Rohini was let go, free. Because Kamsa was told, is the son of Devaki who will kill you, not Rohini. So Rohini is no problem. Rohini can go. Right? But now the husband is imprisoned, so where will she go? So I think Nanda Maharaj was her cousin or brother, something like some connection that I was forgetting. But he went to live with her brother, right? So he said, okay, since my husband is in prison, at least I have some family members. So she went and lived in Vrindavan. So Rohini stayed with Devaki also, and Rohini stayed with Yashoda also. So she got best of the both sides. She got everything. She saw Krishna all along. Nobody else saw that much. She saw this side, and when Krishna went to Dwarka, she saw that side also. Right? So she knows everything. Rohini, which is mother of Balaram. She knows everything. So now they say, well, the only person who can tell us is Rohini. And what exactly these gopis did that Krishna is so attracted. She said, you see, I can tell you, but if I tell you and Krishna hears this, you will not be able to stop him. He's going to leave. Because he's already thinking day and night. If I now explicitly go and tell him, it's one thing that is going in our head. If someone comes and tells us the exact same thing, it becomes more aggravated, right? If you're miserable about something, you get cheated, that's it. And someone comes and says, oh, I feel so sorry for you, you got cheated. You feel worse, right? Because I'm already feeling cheated. And then you're coming and telling me that you got cheated, right? So now Krishna is already thinking about the gopis, and now you go tell him everything on his face. How will he feel? He said, okay, go. Right? He just go. So they said that I can tell you, but make sure Krishna does not hear, because if he hears it, then you will lose Krishna. And they don't want that. They want to know what happened, but they don't want to lose Krishna. Naturally, right? Their love is so strong. That's why they want to know. See, what is it they did that we can also do? That means they want to know, but they don't want to lose it. So they made a plan. The Subhadra, the sister, she will stand on the door, she will block the door, and all the queens will cover Mother Rohini, and she will tell them one by one. So if they got in a private hall in the palace, they're all sitting with him, and now Mother Rohini is describing these things one by one. As she is describing, Subhadra herself becomes very ecstatic. So in our scriptures, this is very rare. Actually, we may or may not see all our life these symptoms. What happens is, if someone has reached a very high level of spiritual perfection, then you will see some symptoms in their body, like the tears in their eyes, the hairs are standing up. In extreme cases, you will also see their body become deformed. Right? That also becomes. Like in case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita that he was 7, 8 feet tall, whatever, 10 feet. He was very tall, right? But then his body will become much longer when he was in spiritual ecstasy, because his joints will become loose and only the skin is holding the two bones. That means it has become much longer. right? So his body will become stretched, deformed. Many things happens in spiritual ecstasy. These are extremely rare, extremely rare. So those symptoms manifested in the body of Subhadra. And the particular manifestation that happened at that time is that her hands were shrunk and her legs were shrunk and she was like a tortoise. She was like really in that frozen mode. Because she was so stunned to hear all these activities of Krishna. Okay? So now, when she's in that state, she's not going to guard the door. She doesn't even have a sense. Where she is, what she's doing. She's not going to guard the door. So at that time, Krishna and Balaram. So they see Subhadra and they see her condition. So when they see her condition, obviously they understand. And now the katha is still going on. So the katha is still going on. So now Krishna and Balaram here. And Krishna and Balaram here, they also reach the same condition as Subhadra. So Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, all three are this form. And Narad Muni is Trikaladarshi. He can see everything, past, present, and future. He can also see different places in space without physically going there. He just has that vision. Krishna has given it, right? He goes there at that point. And he wants to see the form of Krishna. So when he sees the form of Krishna, he asks Krishna for that benediction. That I ask only one benediction, that this form should be available for darshan to every person in this universe. That's why he's called Jagannath. He's the Nath of the entire Jagat. Not just planet Earth, everywhere. Right? So that's how he got the name of Lord Jagannath. Because he wanted, he's Jagannath anyways. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. This is the first verse of the Chaturshloki Gita. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhagavad samannita. So Krishna owns everything. He's anyway a Jagannath. But he got this particular name because that form is the most merciful form of Krishna. Because when Krishna is in that intense love, that feeling of intense love, when he's going to give anything, it's going to be of that nature, right? You don't see hate coming out of a person who's very loving in nature. A loving mother may chastise the child, but that's never out of love, right? It's always out of love. So when Krishna is in that form, and Narad Muni asked him that please give me the benediction that this form should be available to everybody. Now if you see our deities, they are here, nice, we come here. But how many of us? Maybe 100 of us, whatever, 70, 80, 100 of us. Tomorrow we become 200, 300, 500. But Jagannath going in the 5th Avenue, that's a different story. Right? All the deities in all ISKCON temple, people get darshan only when they come there. But Jagannath is the only form which goes out on the street. Same thing with Puri, same thing here. The Jagannath forms go out and people wonder what is this doing thing they're worshipping, but still they are getting the mercy. They are getting the vibration because mercy is there. When the rain falls, the plant may not know, but somehow it works. Right? So this is the reason why Lord Jagannath appeared, and it has appeared to give mercy to everybody in the world. But when this incident happened, it was just only in the earth. Right? So now it has to spread all over the universe. So when it has to spread, then the next thing came was that the temple was established in Jagannath Puri. There's a whole pastime about how it was established. I will not go to that detail because there's a lot of details there. But once the temple was established, still it is only in Jagannath Puri. But there's rest of the world, right? So at one point, this form of Lord Jagannath came to ISKCON also in Mayapur. So that is something I'll describe briefly how that happened. You see, there's a tradition in Jagannath Puri, Western people are not allowed to go to the temple, right? But he's Jagannath. If he's Jagannath, why are Western people not allowed? If Jagannath, his name is Jagannath, they are part of Jagat, they should be allowed. That was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's point also, that if he is a lord of everybody, they say only when he comes out he can give darshan, but he cannot come in the temple. But our Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they have always have the opinion that if he is Jagannath, he should be Jagannath in every time, not just during Rath Yatra. Anyway, so for whatever reason, Western devotees are not allowed, but ISKCON is, there are a lot of Western devotees of Krishna, right? So it so happened, Krishna now has his ways, even though there are restrictions, but he can easily work around the restrictions, because he's all capable, he can do whatever he wants. So it happened that there was a devotee of Lord Jagannath, his name was Jagadish Ganguly. This is around the same time as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So he was there in Mayapur area, that area he was there. He was living there, very old man. So he was invalid also, so he could not go to Puri for Rath Yatra. Those days, everybody will go from all that area, all assemble in Puri. Today also it happens, but those days it was like the main thing of the year. Chaturmas comes, and then you go to Puri. That is like a fixed thing you have to do. It's like you're pilgrim, yearly pilgrim, no matter what. Every capable person goes to Jagannath Puri. That was a tradition. He also wants to go, but he doesn't have the strength or ability to go. So he was really praying to Lord Jagannath that I want to go, but I cannot go. So Lord Jagannath came in the dream to him. Okay, you are not able to come, but I can come. I'm capable. So he said, tomorrow morning you go to Ganga, 3 pieces of wood will come floating down, and those are the pieces to carve the deities. So then sure enough, next day morning he goes. He's old man, but he can still go to Ganga, because Ganga is right there, near his house. He goes and these 3 pieces of wood, big pieces of wood, they come. And then when they come, he employed a leper, a person with leprosy. And that person actually was able to carve the deities of Jagannath. And then after that, the leper became a completely healthy person, and that became the form of Jagannath, which is actually not different from Lord Jagannath at Puri. That became a well-known fact. So today we have the same deity that has been worshipped for more than 500 years, 600 years, close to that. But what happened about 20-25 years ago, the caretakers of that temple, they came to Bhagwan saying that we're not able to take care of the deities, but you have the resources and the ability. Can you please take over this temple? Particularly, they came to his Holiness Jagannath Kumar. They came to him. That can you please take care? Jagannath Kumar was very careful, because once he takes the responsibility, he doesn't want to shy away. So he made sure everything is done pakka, is properly, formally transferred, and everything is done in his name. Then the puja started. And then after puja started of Lord Jagannath, so many pastimes, because now he's part of ISKCON. There are many pastimes. One pastime is like the devotee saw in the dream that Jagannath is running away from the temple and coming to Radha Madhav temple. He got in the dream and he came and discussed what's happening. He said, because the quality of offering in our main temple is much higher than what you're offering in there. And he's the form who likes the food more than any other form. He's being fed all day. They say in Jagannath Puri, his hand is never dry. He's always eating. To that form, you're feeding less than Radha Madhav. So he said, I'm going. It's not too bad. So he got that dream. So after that, because initially they started simple, because they want to be careful that we can maintain the standard. It's one thing to raise it like this, and it's another thing to maintain like that. So they were careful, so they started with simple offering, and Lord Jagannath was like, that's not for me, and this that. So then he got the dream that Jagannath is running away. And then he came and told the Pujari department, this is the dream I got. He said, okay, no, we started the better offering. So next day onwards, they started much better offering, and now they became good offering. So Jagannath in Rajagud, very nice offering. That prasadam you eat is very good. That's why sometimes if you have a little more time in Mayapur, just go for the Rajbhog in the Rajapur temple. which is a little further away, that feast is very different. It's very nice. So you can go there also. One time, this is all Jagannath Prabhu and Pankajangri Prabhu, because they have seen over years, these are the two main pujaris in ISKCON Mayapur. They have seen, one time there's a Muslim man. He came to the temple. He came to temple for some reason, maybe for some taking something out. So Pujari offered him prasad. Pujari offered him prasad because nature of the Pujari, they offer everybody prasad. That doesn't matter who it is, he's Jagannath. Mercy is for everybody. So he offered him prasad. And he was a Muslim man. So they think it's haram, right? They don't like prasad, they will never take prasad. So this man knew it's haram, he cannot eat. So he took it out, he threw it. He threw the prasad. So in the night, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, they came in a dream and Balaram is beating him up. He's beating him very hard, almost to kill him. And Subhadra is saying, beat him more. Because he threw the prasadam of my brother. And then finally Jagannath said that, okay, you're beaten enough, just leave him alone. So he said, they beat me so much in my dream that finally this black personality came and saved me. So next day he came and he asked for prasad. So Pujari said, yesterday you took it, you threw it. Today you are begging for it. What happened? Then he explained the whole story. That see, I went there and then I threw the prasadam and these deities, these forms, they came in my dream and they're beating me. So there are many pastimes, even with Muslims, because that area is predominantly Muslim. Even today you go, all the rickshawala, all the thelewala, everybody is Muslim people. Very peaceful, they don't bother you. No crying or anything. But they don't have much connection. They serve. See, Krishna has his ways. Even though they don't come inside the temple, they are serving. There's a mosque right next to our temple. The Muslims go there, but they serve in our temple through other, take rickshaw, through selling and different things. So there are many pastimes like this of Lord Jagannath. They say Chal Jagannath and Achal Jagannath. He seems like he's not moving, but actually he's moving and he's very active. So through these pastimes we see that Lord Jagannath is actually very merciful and he's available to everybody in this world. That's why we see this Rath Yatra has become the popular thing all over the world. People don't understand, but they get the mercy. They like the music, they like prasadam, and who is interested or inquisitive, they want to know what it is. What are they doing? And then they will go and ask questions. Once they ask questions and understand, Janma Karma Chamedil. Once they understand that once a person understands that Krishna's birth and activities are divine, they do not have to take birth again. And we cannot imagine what a relief it is having this facility that we don't have to take birth again. Because the law of karma is very strict. We just don't know what we've done in the past. We walk around, so many bugs get crushed in our feet. What can we do? We cannot stop walking. You drive the car. You stop the car. You see so many dead bodies of the bugs in the car. You all see it? You see it, right? It's not their fault. It's not their fault. They're living their life. And they get crushed, they get killed, this, that. You walk around, so many ants get killed. Someone has to handle the karma, no? It's not their fault. They're born in their natural habitat. And we are just crushing over them, right? So, no matter what we do in this world, there will be some fault. Law of karma will work. That's why Prabhupada says we are not even vegetarians. Because vegetarian also has karma. That's why Krishna says in Gita, Sarva dharman parityaja. If you surrender to me, Maham ekam sharanam. If you come to my shelter, aham tvam sarva papebhyo. I will free you from all sinful reaction. Ma sucha. Don't worry. Once he said everything, why does he have to say don't worry? Because someone might doubt. And Krishna says don't worry. You know, if you have very close friends and you are in trouble, he said, I'll do this. Finally, when he says, don't worry, that's when you know, I'm safe. Correct? you can give so many assurances, but once you say don't worry, then you are in trouble, right? So when Krishna says Ma Sucha, don't worry, and if we take his word, then we don't have to worry. So there are many reasons why we should serve Krishna and become his devotees. And this is actually a beautiful facility to come together, serve Krishna together, become his devotees. You know, places like this actually offer the opportunity to serve. Otherwise, you don't go serve in a grocery store. So what do you do there? Right? But here you come, just serve Krishna. Different ways people can serve. So I think this is actually a good way of life. Happy living and happy ending, and next life is better. So with that I'll conclude. Is that true? Is there any questions or comments? We can discuss at this point. I hope everything was clear? Okay. So, I don't know what time is it. Maybe 12 now?
Yeah, 6:50.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Correct.
Thank you.
It was nice class for this. Yeah, I have a couple of clarifications. When Narada Muni we say it's a Trikala Gnani, so future, present, and past as well. And also we say that is a Trikala Sanchari, Triloka Sanchari. So he may travel 3 words, 3 Loka Sanchari. So I heard about. So either Triloka means is the earthly planet, and then there is an Indra's planet, or Vaikuntha, or any other 3 lokas means. So these are the 3 planets.
You want to know?
Normally, we want to know that. That is one question probably. So other question is how to interpret when we talk about in Puranas. So if you attend the Rathayatras, Jagannath Rathayatra in Puranas is telling, so just you will get liberated from the birth and death life cycle, and also you will get the abode of Lord Hari.
Yes.
So, for example, devotees are going through lot of years, in the devotion process, so many years. So they may have even still doubt whether we will get liberated or not, whether we have done anything. We are just like one person, just attend the Rathayatra, just follow the Rathayatra, you will get, in the Puranas telling, you will get liberated, you will get moksha. So how can I interpret the people who are asking these kind of questions?
Okay. So your first question was the Loka.
Triloka Sanchari.
Okay. So you want to know what those planetary systems are, right? So this universe is divided into 14 planetary systems, right? 7 lower, 7 upper. So Atal, Sutal, Talatal, Patal, like that 7 are there. Then comes Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, 3, right? Then Janalok, Mahalok, Tapalok, and Brahmalok. So that's 14, correct? So Narada Muni can go in all of them. Okay, that's your first question, right? So these are the arrangements there. Okay, your second question about that it is said that if a person attends Rath Yatra, they will be liberated. That is true. But see, Bhagavatam is like a complete package. It describes one thing, one particular thing. Parikshit Maharaj asked, what is the use of atonement if the sinful propensity does not go away? Because he was talking about atonement. So the point is that yes, that is true. It's not an understatement. But if people continue to live the life the way they are living, then as soon as they become qualified to go Vaikuntha, next moment they do something which can kind of stop them. Right? A lot of people, they win lottery. But in most cases, they end up being in a very bad situation because they don't know how to handle it. This is a very crude example. So it is true that Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra can give us liberation, but we also have to have a life which is clean. Otherwise, okay, you get liberated and tomorrow you come back and do sinful activity again, you're stuck. Right? Being in a liberate state is no guarantee that a person will not fall down. You can fall down also. Ye Chani Agram Arvindasha Vimuktamani. That verse is there in Bhagavatam, where it says those people who are liberated or consider themselves liberated, unless they take fully shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, they will fall out. So even though this is true, we have to maintain that level of purity. Once we maintain, eventually we go back to Krishna. Why would Krishna lie to us? Why was Purana lie to us? Do they not know what they are saying? It's there. It's just we cannot see things as they are. So it takes time. So once the sinful propensity goes away, then the effects can be seen. So that's it. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Nanda Kumar.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks for nice session, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a couple of questions. Like in spiritual world, there are different Vaikuntha Lok for all the incarnation of Lord Krishna, like Lord Ram, Nrsimhadev. So same way Lord Jagannath has its own abode in a spiritual world.
Jagannath is Krishna himself. It's just in a particular form in which he is very intense. But he's Krishna, he's not some other form. So Golok is there, he's there, Dwarka is there, Mathura is there. So Krishna is living in all those three different sections of spiritual world, Krishna Lila, but his activities are different. So he's there. That's what there is.
Okay. I have a couple of more questions. Like you mentioned, there is restriction of Western devotee to get in temple. So any reason behind that, or is as per the knowledge?
Because I think the Western devotees are coming from background which is not very clean. Some may have been eating meat. They're not basically what you call Aryan. They are not in line, like through family connections, they are not in line with Asana. They are descendants of the kings which are like lower class in the past, long ago, right? So lower class people are kept out of it. But today also, Sudras cannot go. Some restriction is there, right? So by the same token, they are not allowed. Even though they are following everything perfectly, but somehow they are not allowed. It's unfortunate, but our ISKCON stand is that they should be allowed because these devotees, in some cases, they are more pure or more fixed up or more committed than our own people. Right, but some of the devotees, they are just like role models for thousands of Indian people. How is it working? They must be doing something, so they should be allowed. So, okay.
Prabhuji, one or two small questions. Like we had Chaitanya Mahaprabhu re-establish Rath Yatra. So it was from the beginning and then it was stopped and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu re-established, or how is it?
It's always been going.
It is always on.
He attended it every year, but Rath Yatra never stopped. Same tradition is going for thousands of years. Okay?
And one final question about Snana Jatra. After having Snana Jatra, Lord goes 15 days, I believe, 2 weeks unanswered because of illness. So really, what is the? He is supreme, right? He can come out of illness. But what is the reason behind this lila? So if you can just give little bit lights on that, that will.
Sure. See, Krishna is Sampurna Bhagavan. Everything is coming from him. So he also wants to enjoy being sick. It's not that he's suffering. He wants to enjoy everything, right? So you know how Mother Yashoda used to tell Krishna that eat properly, otherwise you will die. Said, Baba, how will he die? Usually he's taking birth from him, Aham Sarva said, Prabhu, and he's going to die. How will that work? But she said, no, eat, small child, right? So Krishna is Sampurna Bhagavan. All rasas are there. So if he wants to experience illness, he wants to enjoy. So he wants to be fed nicely for those 15 days, different medicines. He enjoys it. And then he comes out. Because he gets jukam, the cold, because too much water gets cold. So he enjoys less pastime. Because eating all year, he wants to take a break also. So they offer him special medicine. They also have very good taste. which he never gets because that's given only to sick people. So he wants to enjoy. So he gets sick, enjoys the medicine. He also gets some private time. 15 days nobody will see. So Krishna, see, we cannot try to fully understand what he's trying to do. We cannot fully understand. The way he was playing the cards in Kurukshetra, nobody could figure out. Even Shakuni said, I can handle everybody, but this man is different. I cannot handle it. So the way he's playing the card, you cannot figure out what he's doing. So if he wants to be sick, what can you do? You have to turn him there also, right? See, these are the leelas when make devotees really become attracted to him. Kyare Bhagavan Bimari is you know, that really attracts people, you know, that this is how full or complete it is. Okay? Okay, we concluded. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Namarande, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So now we'll be chanting for Prabhupada.